Hey friends, Crys'Dawna from Bella Renovari. Today I'm going to show you guys how to fix chip veneer so that you don't ever have to pass up a piece again. So if you guys see this piece, hold on, I just did this side for you. But if you see this piece right here, it's all chipped and you're like, oh, okay. So I fixed it right here. Let me pull this up. There we go. Okay, so I did this side first so that you guys could see what you're going to be wanting to look for, okay? This, when I put my hands over it, is smooth to the touch, okay? And like this, where I can feel where the inlay is. I don't like this inlay. It just doesn't make sense on this piece, so I'm going to show you guys how to fill that in too. I'm going to probably fill in this, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do. So right now, this piece has got a lot of chipping veneer. So what I'm going to do is go over this piece and look. And anything that's chipping, I'm just going to pull off because we can patch it, but if it's still chipping, it's going to chip later. This doesn't prevent it from chipping. What it does is fill it. So really what we're going to do is just go through and kind of finish off this veneer that's chipped. Don't worry about it. I know you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Okay, that's a big one. Yeah, let's pull this one off too. This is pretty rough, guys. This actually might be a piece that's easier to pull all the veneer off. I don't know, but I'm going to show you how to fix it anyways, because I don't feel like pulling all this off. There's a little spot. Oh! What happened to this piece? Hopefully your piece doesn't have this much, but you know what? It's probably better that mine does so that you guys can see probably worst case scenario. So this is worst case scenario. Anything that seems loose, I'm just pulling it off, okay? I probably just went a little too crazy right there, but whatever. Well, now this will be a testament. What? Alright, well, I got a little bit more than I bargained for. I'm going to try to scrape a little bit. This is like old glue. Okay, well, I got a little more than I bargained for when I pulled that off, but whatever. Okay, I like a challenge. And so now that I've gotten all my veneer off that was chipping, what I'm going to do is let you guys know exactly what you need, okay? So what you're going to need is, where is it? You're going to need some JB Weld Wood Restore Putty, or Minwax has something like this, or Bondo actually has a wood thing, a wood filler type like this, okay? So you're gonna need this. You can get it anywhere. I'll put a link to Amazon for that. And then you're gonna need some gloves. So I know that I've told you guys before that I like the black nitrile gloves, but these ones I like to use for other stuff because it's not super chemically. So for stripping, I like the black ones. So you're gonna need gloves. You're gonna need a spatula. like a plastic spatula putty knife, okay? And then you're gonna need something like a piece of wood or a piece of glass or something to mix this on, okay? All right, this stuff stinks. Just so you guys know, it's really smelly. So if you're not in an area, like I'm right outside of my garage, but if you're not in an area that you can get good ventilation, then you need to be wearing a mask. Look at this, I'm still peeling this off. Okay, so the drawer's in here, so what I'm gonna do is I just take like screwdrivers and stuff and pull this out. So this is all the stuff that I have to fill, okay? This is a little bit crazy. Hopefully your guys' isn't too bad, but I guess this will be a testament once I paint it to how well this works. So what you're gonna wanna do is open your JB Weld. This is a brand new thing, so bear with me. There we go. Okay. So with this JB Weld, you've got this little thing, okay? It's always gonna be, it'll come with all those products. This is the hardener, okay? This right here is the actual putty. And you're also gonna want, if you don't have a small putty knife that can get in there, you're gonna want like a broken stick or something. So this is the actual putty, okay? And what you're gonna do is you're going to mix these two together, okay? You do not need a lot of hardener. Do not use a ton of hardener because if you can see, you get this little thing of hardener for this big, huge thing. So obviously you don't need a lot, okay? So what we're gonna do is you're gonna take some of your putty, however much you think you need. We're obviously gonna need a lot for this. Also remember, if you don't think that you're gonna be able to get done with all of this within a few minutes, then you need to mix it a little at a time because this stuff hardens within like 12 minutes or something like that. I know it says it on the thing, but it starts hardening, but before it hardens, it starts getting all weird and you won't be able to use it. So you need to work fast. So if you've got kids waiting for you or you got something to do not do this. You do it when you've got the time to focus on it for at least, 5-10 minutes. So what I did, I've got my putty right here, okay? I'm gonna see how much of this is for my other one, so I'm gonna see how much I can squeeze out first before we open the new one. I like to be frugal. So I'm gonna squeeze out as much of the hardener as I can, and the hardener is white. Okay, so I think that's kind of it for that. You're gonna need more than that, okay? So you're gonna need just a little bit more than that. I'd say probably, honestly, that is probably gonna do it. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your putty knife and you're just gonna kind of fold it into each other. Knead it together. Make sure you guys have your gloves on. And this stuff is super smelly. So like I said, if you don't have a breeze or a fan going, just wear a mask. All right. I have another putty knife right here. I like to scrape this off. All right. So I'd say this is probably good. So I take a little at a time. And you're just gonna go down on it, okay? Like you're frosting a cake, or if you guys have ever done like putting up sheetrock and mudding and stuff, like you're mudding. You don't want like a ton, you just wanna kinda spread it on there so that, later on, if you're taping and mudding, you don't wanna have to sand a bunch. A lot of people who are really good at it actually don't even really have to sand at all. So think of it as like icing a cake or doing the mud on the wall. Okay, you can just go over everything. It's totally fine because the spots that don't have holes, you'll see it later. I'll show you. We can actually just peel that right off. Hopefully you guys don't have veneer problems like this, but I guess this, like I said, shows us how well this stuff will work and how damaged your piece can be and how we can fix it. So you're just kind of lightly going over it like this, all right? You guys see that? So I'm not getting crazy with it. I'm not slamming it on there. I mean, there wasn't that much. I actually thought I would probably need more. I don't want that inlay either, so I'm gonna actually go over that. And I'll probably have to mix some more, but that's okay. I would rather have to mix more, and I'm just gonna go like this. I would rather have to mix more than waste it because it's all dried. So here we are. And if you can like lightly go over it a couple different ways, you can get more out of it, because you don't need a ton to fill these up. And see, I did it earlier and I didn't fill this properly, so I'm going to go over that again. And you may need to, and you guys know, like with wood filler and stuff, sometimes you have to go over things a couple times because it didn't fill it all the way. So this same concept with this, but if you fill it right and you don't get crazy with it, then you may not have to go over it twice. But if you do, that's no harm, no foul. The good thing about this stuff is it dries so fast. Okay. And I actually don't want this either, so I'm just gonna go over that too. I just don't want it. None of it. I don't want any of it. It just doesn't make sense to me, okay? As a creative, the inlay doesn't make sense to me. This doesn't make sense to me. So we're gonna fix this piece. We're gonna transform it. Okay, we're back, and it is set. So first, what I try to do before I sand it is we're going to take our scraper and we're going to try to scrape some of it, which it's super sanded, so scrape any excess off. And just makes it easier to sand. Alright, we're going to take it over here to sand. Take it outside because it has chemicals and it stinks, and so I want to be close to air, and I'm also going to wear a mask. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand it with my orbital sander, and I usually use about an 80 grit so that we can get all this stuff off. And then sometimes I'll go over it with a 120 or 220 if I'm painting it, which I would be, because you can't stain Bondo or you can't stain JB Weld or anything like that. It's unstainable. And then once I sand this down, we'll kind of see where we're at and see if we need another level. So I'm going to go ahead and sand right now. Okay, friends, so I have pretty much done all the veneer on here. I'll probably have to do a couple more layers, but I wanted to test a spot that I don't think needs any more layers, just to show you guys how this is gonna work. So I have my coffee bean from Dixie Belle out, okay, and we're gonna do this spot right here, okay, this spot right here. Okay, are you guys ready? Just to show you how amazing this stuff works. And obviously I might need another coat. I'm just gonna go across it like this. Do you guys see that? I know that there's brush strokes in there, but I'm just trying to show you guys right here. Okay, do you see the chip veneer? No, you don't. You don't see the chip veneer because there is no chip veneer anymore. It's fixed. It is fixed. Awesome, huh? And there you go, guys. You know, there's some spots right here that I'll have to go over again, and then this spot I felt like was ready. And then I went over these again and they're fine. I accidentally went over my hardware hole, so I'm gonna have to drill that out. But that's another way. If you guys, a lot of times you use wood filler to fill these holes, I always use this because that is the only way you're gonna get a smooth finish and you're not gonna see that hole. So there you go. Right there, let me close up on it. Beautiful.